Let's talk about these unknown animes, or maybe known animes, but they just didn't get that much popularity or are talked about all that much. And that's what this video is about. Blood Lad, I also don't know or remember how I found this anime, but I'm glad I did because it's based around the story of Staz, S-T-A-Z. He's trying to bring back this girl, Fuyumi, F-U-Y-U-M-I, to become a human again because she was turned into a ghost after being eaten by this plant. He's the most powerful vampire in all of the demon world, so he's considered a boss. Throughout the whole series, you're going to realize that it's just a lot of playing around with your friends, messing around, having fun. You get some epic fights and battles, and you realize that this universe is a lot bigger than we actually considered, and that you have to be willing to be able to be friends with these people around you, because Wolf is one of his old comrades, but he tries killing him because he wants to make sure that he can protect this girl. So you need to be determined in your goals to be able to make sure that you can succeed with whatever you're doing, no matter how small it is. Once you make up your mind, that means that you have to follow it through to the end, and that's exactly what Stans does in Blood Lad. So if you guys are wondering how to stay determined on a goal, how to be patient, how to realize your true potential, you have to be dedicated. You have to be willing to do what is required to make sure that you can uphold the promise that you made, because you don't want to be somebody that says you're going to do something and then you go and do the complete opposite. I included this anime in my top 10 Netflix original anime series, so if you haven't watched that, go watch that. But this is Dorohedoro. I think this is highly underrated, and most people I don't even think are talking about it, but it is on Netflix if you want to go watch it right now. I watched it on a single night. Pretty much it's about this guy that gets turned into a lizard due to this magician, but there's no other magician that has enough power to be able to turn him back into the human, so he has his like head chopped off. He fights lots of other enemies. He's very badass. He's very subtle. He's like has this badass partner who has a fat ass, and it's just like, holy cow, this anime is so good. The story and the concept of it I really enjoyed. So if you guys haven't watched Dorohedoro, go watch it right now, because you're not going to regret the story, the progression, the overall just like concept. And yes, it's more of a 3D CGI anime, but I think it's good. I really don't care if it's CGI or hand-drawn, as long as there's a good story. This is another anime that I watched a long time ago, but I rewatched it again just to make this video. Darker Than Black. It's about supernatural effects and these people that are called contractors, and they have a power that allows them to be superhuman of some sort, but every single time they use the power, they have to pay a price for the power that they used, and in return, some people have a little bit easier payment, some people have a higher payment. Like one guy, he has to stack rocks in a specific order, another person has to eat a dandelion, another person has to break their fingers, another person has to eat lots of food. It's just everybody's contract is different, but they have different powers, and every power has a special ability and special trait and special skill that makes them their own individual person, just as you yourself watching this video are. So if you guys want to find that balance between having your power and having the skills and traits that make you special, just go experience the world. Go be who you need to be in order to become the best version of yourself that you can become. And yes, you're going to be different from other people. Like the main character, the contractor in the series, he's not like all the other contractors. He does things a little bit differently, but he still gets the job done. So if you're worried about doing things differently than how everybody else is doing them, don't worry about that, because regardless, you'll make the fact of the matter and you'll make the work get done in the way that it's supposed to get done. Watch Darker Than Black. I have a feeling many of you guys don't remember or have ever even heard of Gangsta, but if you haven't, this is another great action underrated anime that I think you guys should watch right now. It's pretty much about these two guys. They're mercenaries, hitmans, more or less. They work for the cops, but one of these guys has tags on him that makes him an extremely badass, and he can defeat any enemy that he comes in contact with ease. He is very unemotional when it comes to certain things, unless it's women, then he's very emotional. He cares for them because he wants to make sure that they aren't hurt, which I respect and admire the hell out of that for. This anime though, very violent, very action-packed, very well told story, and I wish they would have a season 2, but they don't. 12 episodes out right now, and it is more or less just an action drama CN, rated R, 17, 23-minute episodes. But if you have not watched this, go watch it right now. I don't even remember how I found out about this anime, but when I found out about it, I was like, oh my god, this is absolutely amazing. The OP and the ED is some of the best music that I've ever heard in an anime. The anime is pretty much based around the character named Leo, who gets these eyes that are the power of God, or give him the power of God, and all seen into the past and present and future. He does this because he froze when his sister was met by a demon, because this world has been possessed by demons from the underworld. They came out here, and apparently a lot of miracles are supposed to happen in this world, so he was trying to make it so that his sister could be able to walk again. But in the process of doing this, when his parents brought them there, he ended up losing or freezing in the face of the the demon, and he got the power of the gods that he could have been blessed to his sister instead. So now he's trying to find all the answers and trying to figure out how this world works and how he can save his sister and how he can make her walk. And he makes lots of friends along the way, and there's lots of action, there's lots of fighting. Almost every episode has action or fighting, and it's not like mediocre. It's like really exciting, really interesting, because everybody has their own superpowers, which is really interesting to see. So if you guys want to check out something that is possibly something different, something that you might not have ever seen before, I would highly recommend you check this one out as well. I watched this anime a while ago. It's called Jormungand. It is pretty much about this kid that joins this mercenary group because he doesn't like guns, so he tries to defeat these people that are arms dealers. Yes, I know it doesn't really make sense, but that's just what you gotta do. Sometimes you gotta do what you hate to be able to get to the point to where you love doing what you're doing. So this kid, Jonathan, he joins Coco's group in order to help defeat her enemies so that he can hopefully have less guns in this world that he lives right now. But he has no like remorse, no empathy. He has no moral compass necessarily. He'll kill anybody, he'll point his gun wherever he needs to. He just takes massive action whenever it comes down to a fight. So if you guys are looking at doing something, you want to have a goal, you have an objective, just take massive action. It doesn't matter the repercussions. You'll figure it out along the way, and as you figure it out, you'll become better at what you're doing, and you might be able to change some lives in the process. Jonathan, not necessarily changing lives, but he does change as the series goes on, so I'd highly recommend you check it out. Btooom is an action sci-fi psychological scene. This anime seems to be very underrated, and when I say underrated, I mean it's just not talked about. Like, I don't really ever hear any of my friends or anybody else in public or really on YouTube anymore talk about Btooom. It's like, this anime was really good. I watched it when I was in Costa Rica right after I graduated from high school, and I was like, damn, this anime right here is amazing. The anime is based around this character named Ryota, who is one of the best Btooom players in all of Japan. He actually is the best Btooom player in all of Japan, and he's trying to become #1. One day he wakes up and he's on this island, and there's this guy that's trying to kill him, and he's like, oh my god, what am I supposed to do? He realizes that he is technically in the game Btooom, but it's in real life, so he has to use these bombs to be able to defeat his enemies that are coming at him that are trying to kill him. In the process, he does meet up with this girl named Himiko, who was his biggest fan in game. She would always watch him play and would always admire the skills and traits that he possessed as a Btooom player. This anime is dark and will probably make you uncomfortable if you have any sort of past trauma that you have not dealt with so far, so watch this anime at your own risk. This is a isekai, but not really an isekai, because it's like there is time traveling, but he's not going into a different world. It's more him just going back into his past own body, so it's like future time travel essentially. I highly recommend that you guys check it out. There's lots of fighting, there's lots of drama, there's lots of action, there's lots of just overall trying to change the future. And if you guys have any relation or are interested in time travel whatsoever, like say you're watching Loki right now, it's gonna blow your mind away, because you're gonna have to understand like, yo, why is he able to do this? He's changing these events, so that's gonna change the future. And then you go in this whole spiral of like, well, if he was already there, then that means that he's has always been there. And it's so mind-boggling, it's so interesting to see. But just the character growth of Takemichi, watching the character growth of him throughout the series was absolutely amazing, and it gets so much better, well done. So if you guys don't watch Tokyo Revengers, it's got an 8.24 review on animelist.com. Highly recommend you check it out right now, and there's 12 episodes out currently, so go watch it, you won't be disappointed. The first episode of Hellsing Unlimited is 40 minutes long, so if you don't have time to watch a 40-minute series, then maybe don't watch Hellsing Unlimited. But the overall action within the first episode and throughout the whole series is unheard of. It's so cool, it's so intense. The story, on the other hand, it's so-so. I still think it's worth a watch if you like the action and the animation style, because there's not much dialogue, there's not much happening, at least at the very beginning. It does pick up a little bit later, but just the action and the overall growth that you see within the characters, within the Draculina, the police girl, you see her turn into a vampire, and obviously that sucks for her, but she gets stronger and notices that she's not human anymore. And it just kind of goes to show you that like we have more power, we have more skill than we ever even considered possible. Yet if we don't actually allow ourselves to experience that skill, if we don't allow ourselves to experience that true growth that we have from the new power that we possess, we're going to be doing the same thing that we've always been doing. So try and level up, try and notice your actual skill, your actual potential, just like the police girl did, and you'll be able to defeat any enemy that stands within your way. I was watching this anime last night, Dororo, D-O-R-O-R-O. I had never really heard of it until recently. I thought it was an anime that I had watched back in the past, but it wasn't. The overall story for this is so well done. It's just like his father comes in, his father asks, he's like, take anything from me, you demons, whatever you want. So they take his firstborn's son, his eyes, his hearing, his skin, everything, his arms, his legs, everything. They take it away from him. So he has to go into this world with nothing. Luckily, there's at least a kind man that goes and saves him and teaches him how to fight, teaches him how to use his skills, gives him arms and limbs so that he can actually defeat these enemies and these demons that are coming at him. It's really well done. I'm probably going to be making a video on Dororo in the coming weeks or next week, depending on how my schedule looks. So if you guys want to be informed with that, make sure you press that subscribe button with the notification bell on. Would highly appreciate you so you don't miss my review on that. And as you know, there's going to be a little twist and turns to it, but that anime, oh my god, I just can't put it down. It's so well done. It's so well edited. The story is just immaculate, and I can't express that enough. Watch my video in the coming weeks, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I know I just said I'd see you guys in the next one, but I wanted to give you one quick little bonus anime action underrated series that you could watch, because I was lacking on this anime for way too long. It's Vinland Saga. Vinland Saga was so well done. I watched it when I had the C word back a couple weeks ago. I have that video right here if you want to check it out. But this is also underrated. The story of just Thorfinn and how he goes from this small innocent boy to the full-grown man that he is right now, killing anybody in sight, is absolutely amazing. And I believe they're having a season 2 coming out sometime soon. So if you haven't watched season 1, go watch it right now. You won't regret it. The fighting, the action, the story, the overall progression and character arcs of every single buddy within that anime series is unlike anything that I've ever seen before. And I know I say that in a lot of videos, but I genuinely do believe there are a lot of things that I've never seen before, because everybody's doing things that are different, and I really enjoy watching stuff like that. So if you guys want to go watch Vinland Saga, go watch Vinland Saga, or just go watch my other old video, and that'll work just as well. Leave a comment if you did. Be like, hey, I came here from your top 10 underrated anime list, and I'll be like, oh, I love you. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you, and I'll see you guys in the next one.